And another thing that I learned since taking care or since becoming my grandmother's full-time caregiver is I didn't know that becoming a caregiver was going to bring up so much. You couldn't have told me a year and a half ago, like when I first started to become her caregiver, that I was going to be dealing with trauma that I have been healed from many, many years ago. So I thought. And so I'm going to say, like, wish there was more honest conversations around like caregiving. Like when I first took this on, and like we had like a family meeting when it became clear that my grandmother was going to need to be have a caregiver. And my two sisters, the only two that do help, they both work in the healthcare field, and they were like, this is a really hard job, just prepare yourself for it. And I thought they meant like, toileting accidents or, you know, actual caregiving stuff. I thought they meant that. I didn't know it was going to also, because there's that too, but I was prepared for that. Like I was prepared to know that it was going to be, ooh, child, it's like having an adult child, because that's literally what it is. Like as we get older and we age, we revert back to childhood. Like everything that a young child needs, an elderly person needs. And so I'm a mother of five. Like I know that I knew it was going to be hard in that way. I didn't know, I guess they're going to bring up this childhood stuff that I hadn't thought about since I was a child. Like, even in caring directly for her, like, it it's so hard to explain. It's just like I found myself over the last year and a half crying and being hurt over things that I hadn't thought about since I was 10. Or, you know, being reminded of just certain feelings of feeling like inadequate or feeling invisible. Or I'm the oldest in my family. I'm the oldest cousin. I'm the oldest child, right? And with that comes a huge level of responsibility that just falls on the oldest child. And I've had that my whole life, right? I've always, for the most part, had a pretty shaky relationship with my mother. And I had distanced myself. I kind of went, no, not kind of, I did go no contact with her for a really long time. And in caregiving for my grandmother, it was like I opened up the door to have a relationship with my mother again. And that backfired badly, because in doing that, old wounds that were healed, that I thought were healed, suddenly are hurting like they did when some of these things that first happened, if that makes sense. It's low key kind of traumatized, like for real.